Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
We are starting the second fantastic half hour of the Patrick Riggins Show right here on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network.
It makes me feel like a disco dance.
Yes. Coming back into the segment with some Leo Sayer.
I was talking to her break. Whenever I was younger, I always thought this was a woman singing.
It's that falsetto.
Yes. That Bee Gees falsetto.
Yeah. I guess if it makes you money. I'll talk in falsetto if they'd pay me extra. You do that rather well. Y'all need to ditch that English group thing and do 70s.
Do disco?
Disco. Everybody dressed in white suits.
Well, if you were our mascot, you'd have to come up to every show and dance for us, and well, I would do that.
Yeah, wear the white suit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember disco. I was very young, but I remember it.
You know, you don't, if I did that, you'd probably lose a lot of audience. All right. Oh, yes. Welcome back to the Patrick Riggins Show here in 1977. We are full of optimism here. Why? Because I have confidence in the American people. Confidence as this show spreads the message of freedom and liberty far and wide, that people will start to embrace it. Not everyone, but enough that we can get this country turned around and started down the correct course, instead of the one we are presently on, one towards more socialism and its associated and necessary governmental tyranny, because that's required if you're going to enforce the socialism being imposed. Anyway, getting on in the show. This week, the Wall Street Journal ran a story detailing how the so-called kill list that the government maintains is being expanded. Oh, great. You know, just the fact that a supposedly free country that is founded on the rights of human beings to be free, to have a trial of their peers before being sentenced, the very fact we have this list should be repulsive to every person who acknowledges those principles upon which this country is founded. Our president, our government, is sentencing and executing human beings without a trial, without a judge seeing any evidence, without a jury of their peers. Nothing. They just decide you got to die. That's what they do. The exciting thing is this government isn't limiting this to just foreigners. No, they think we want to join in on it as well. They think this applies to Americans in this country as well. Now, you don't believe me? Do you think I'm being an alarmist? Well, all you regular listeners know how ridiculous that accusation would be, but you new listeners, you might be thinking that. Well, just listen to this testimony in Congress. This is John Brennan, who is being confirmed as the CIA chief. Here's what he said when asked how much, quote, how much evidence the president needs to decide that a particular American can be lawfully killed, and whether the administration believes that the president can use this authority inside the United States. Now, Mr. Brennan was asked this question by Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, who is a Democrat. An actual Democrat asked this question. I guess the Republicans couldn't get permission from their leadership to ask such a thing. So what was Mr. Brennan's answer to this question of how much evidence the president needs to decide if an American can be killed, even within this country? Here's what he said.
I have been a strong proponent of trying to be as open as possible with these programs as far as our explaining what we're doing. What we need to do is optimize transparency on these issues, but at the same time, optimize secrecy and the protection of our national security. I don't think that it's one or the other. It's trying to optimize both of them. And so what we need to do is make sure we explain to the American people what are the thresholds for action, what are the procedures, the practices, the processes, the approvals, the reviews.
Never heard a "we don't kill Americans." Never heard that. Exactly. Just quiet.
I heard a bunch of just chasing his tail.
Yes. I didn't hear a "we don't kill people within these countries' borders." Didn't hear that. Did you notice that? In case you, Tory caught it.
Yeah.
In case you doubt that they are looking at killing people within the borders of the United States, listen to that last part once again.
And so what we need to do is make sure we explain to the American people what are the thresholds for action, what are the procedures, the practices, the processes, the approvals, the reviews.
In other words, Mr. Brannon, quite possibly the next CIA chief, just stated that we need to explain to the American people the conditions under which the government will be carrying out killings within this country.
Well, explain. That was the question.
Yes.
That was the question.
He wants to know, the question is, are we going to do
Explain.
it? Yeah. Well, he doesn't want to explain it because he realizes what he's saying.
But he just said he's going to explain.
Yes. And that's if they would just explain to the American people why they have to kill people, I think that's his logic. Not that we should be doing it or not. So if you want to hear that clip again real quick, here it is. It's a little disturbing.
And so what we need to do is make sure we explain to the American people what are the thresholds for action, what are the procedures, the practices, the processes, the approvals, the reviews.
The approvals, the reviews. We are going to kill people within this country, but hey, someone will be reviewing it all. So you won't have to worry about it. Just go back to watching television and let us take care of running the government. Don't worry, though, because these guys are proactive. The people they have labeled terrorists, which, incidentally, the administration won't reveal what makes you a terrorist or how you can be labeled as one. But from that last audio clip, know that if you're labeled one, being an American inside the United States isn't going to help you. They will kill you with a drone strike just like they do anywhere else in the world. Getting back to my point, though, another clip from this testimony reveals how proactive they are in combating these supposed terrorists.
I think there's a misimpression on the part of some American people who believe that we take strikes to punish terrorists for past transgressions. Nothing could be further from the truth. We only take such actions as a last resort to save lives when there's no other alternative to taking an action that's going to mitigate that threat.
There is a misimpression on the part of some of the American people who believe that we take strikes to punish terrorists for past transgressions. Nothing could be further from the truth. You see, they're only going to take action to mitigate threats. Is this not the height of doing everything backwards? Is anyone in Washington listening to this testimony? It is a misrepresentation that they are going to punish a terrorist for a past transgression. Nothing could be further from the truth. That is when you would want to be punishing them, isn't it? They've done something, yet we don't want to punish them then. But if we think they're up to something, oh, well, now that's a different story. We think you're going to try something, so we'll punish you if we think that you're going to be a threat. But who determines that? An impartial judge? Nope. It's the people pulling the trigger. Is this not the ultimate CYA? If you've done something, we're not going to punish you then because we'd have to go through a trial and present evidence and you could refute it and present witnesses, that sort of thing. But if you go on our word that this person was going to do something and we had to kill them, who's going to dispute it? The person labeled a terrorist can't. He's dead. And like most everyone around him at that time, well, they're probably dead as well. So, yeah.
Punishing them for things that they've already done would be the logical thing. Yeah. But see,
they don't do that.
Those people are already on the books of doing things. So see, they're trying to figure out a way of going after people who they think are going to do it. I can't explain it, but you know exactly.
Well, like I said, it's the ultimate CYA. We're the witnesses that we're going to say, hey, this person was just going to get milk at the store. Well, nowhere. They can't be questioned about. We can't be questioned about our decision to kill them now because there's no one around to refute the assertion because, again, they're dead.
And this lunatic may be the director of the CIA.
Maybe the director.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they're basically saying, hey, you're just going to have to trust us on this one and the next one and the next one, even when we are killing people within this very country because they were going to do something. So we killed them before they could. So
it makes that list very broad.
Sure, because we say you're going to do something. Well, who said that? Well, we did.
If they've already done it, the list is very small, compared to the infinite list of people who might do something.
And if they already done it, you have to prove they did it. I don't have to prove that you were going to do something.
Yeah.
You just have to go on what I say.
And what are we doing? I mean, that could be anything from actual terrorism to just speaking out against
it's
it.
Whatever I make. Oh, no. If I'm going to kill you, you were trying to kill women and children. They're going, he doesn't have any means to do so. Doesn't matter. I said so. We killed him with a drone strike. Anyway, we're up on the last break of the show, the Patrick Regan Show. Join us after the break as we frustrate Tori even more. We will be back after this break.